The Fox 61 News at 10 starts now.
And now at 10, the bone-chilling temperatures are here, and it will impact you and your kids as you head out to work and to school tomorrow. And that's why our team has issued a weather impact alert. Thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 10. I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. Those temperatures will be in the single digits. And how cold will the wind chill be?
Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank is here with the first check of the forecast. Rach?
Close to zero as we head towards daybreak tomorrow. So the wind chill will be very similar to what we woke up to today, but the temperature will actually be colder. The bottom line is we are bundling up, grabbing the hats, scarves, gloves to head out the door, and if you can, avoiding prolonged period of time outside. I know some people work outside, but if you need me to write you a note instead of a doctor's note, a meteorologist's note, I'd be happy to. Here's a look at temperatures already in the single digits for some parts of the state. We've got 6 degrees, the current temperature in Waterbury, but we're still at 22 for the New Haven area, a bit uneven because of the wind and also because of the cloud cover, but we'll all be dropping back into the single digits inland, near 10 for the Connecticut shoreline, which means if you're heading out to try to catch a glimpse of the northern lights tonight, make sure you're bundling up because it's cold out there. This is from Jill Applegate in Pomfret. This was a substorm that occurred earlier tonight. Is it possible that we could see this again later tonight? It's possible, but not a guarantee. Tomorrow, single digits to start, teens by 10 a.m., and high temperatures will be in the 20s as we head through the afternoon. There could be a period of light snow or some snow showers tomorrow evening between 7 p.m. and around midnight, maybe a coating of snow in parts of the state. We'll talk about it. Your full forecast is coming up.
Rachel, thank you.
1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1,
And with
2.
temperatures this cold, it is important to know the signs of hypothermia. The CDC says symptoms for adults might include shivering, confusion, exhaustion, slurred speech, and drowsiness. Meanwhile, the CDC warns that signs of hypothermia in babies would include bright red or cold skin and unusually low energy. In these temperatures, this is important information to know. If you think you or someone around you might be affected, seek medical help immediately.
The cold can also be dangerous for our pets. To keep them safe, avoid walks on salted sidewalks and make sure they have a warm shelter. Cats often seek warmth near car engines, so tap the hood and check before starting your car if you know there are cats in the area. Warm space, whether a garage with pet beds or a dog house with blankets, can make a big difference. The state's cold weather protocol is active now until tomorrow at noon. If you need shelter or a warming center, call 211 or visit 211ct.org. Transportation can be provided as needed.
Well, new here at 10, Connecticut released a forensic audit today into the Blue Hills Civic Association after the group reported losing $300,000 in state funds. The audit found pervasive governance failures and systemic internal control weaknesses, which raises serious questions about potential fraud and misappropriation. Over several years, BHCA received more than $15 million in state funding, yet operated with minimal oversight, routinely dispersing money without legal agreements or documented compliance checks. Auditors also identified more than $200,000 in unsupported payments, including conflict of interest violations and services that may not have been performed. The Department of Economic and Community Development has frozen future funding and says it will expand oversight while the audit continues into a second phase focused on sub-recipients.
A new report from Connecticut's Correction ombuds concludes the state's prison system is in sustained institutional failure. The report cited unsanitary conditions, staffing shortages, and delayed medical care. Inspectors found rodents, mold, sewage backups, and frequent lockdowns that keep people locked in their cells for long stretches of time. The Department of Corrections disputes these findings and says the report overstates issues and includes unsupported claims. The Ombuds office says it will continue investigating, and a public hearing on the report will be January 29th.
More than 100 people attended an hours-long meeting tonight to make it clear they don't want a cell tower in their neighborhood.
And Fox 61's Kay Pattyfoot is live in North Haven, and Kay, you spoke with some neighbors who are very passionate about this. Plus, you heard from the development group. I'd love to hear what they say.
Before the meeting tonight, I went out to where the tower is being proposed, and Rich DePalma says the tower would sit directly behind his farm and his home. He says he's been fighting the situation for almost over a year. Diploma says he's not against cell towers. He says he's against them in his backyard. He's not alone. Dozens of people were here tonight to listen to Homeland Towers, a development company, for the proposed Verizon tower. And the town also wants to add an antenna to it for first responders. DePalma says this tower would take away from his farm and property that he recently bought. The regional manager for Homeland Towers says he's done many cases like this, and they almost always get passed.
This is, something that we hear often, and the only thing I can say is that we find many times doing this, I've been doing this almost 30 years now, that there is a vocal minority that speaks up, and there's a silent majority that doesn't speak up. We know based on the coverage maps that Attorney Baldwin showed that there's a rather large coverage gap here for Verizon, and there's a lot of people that want the service, not just for the Verizon service, but for public safety as well.
The world is so divided today on everything, except everyone seems to want this farm. I can't keep up with how much the surrounding community has loved it, and I think it's so great that, unfortunately, a cell phone tower I don't think goes along with this ag lifestyle we're trying to preserve here in this part of North Haven.
Homeland Towers and the lawyers that represent Verizon plan on filing paperwork with the state siting council in the next month. DePalma says this has taken a toll on him mentally, and he's ready for it all to end. Live in North Haven, Kate Pattyfoot, Fox 61.
A water service has been restored to all customers affected by the North Water Street break in Stonington. Crews are finishing roadway repairs with hopes of reopening the street tonight. A boil water advisory remains in place, though, until the water quality testing is complete. Officials estimate it could be lifted early tomorrow afternoon. And in Seymour, Route 8 is back open after a multi-vehicle crash there. The crash happened around 3 this afternoon. The Department of Energy and Environmental Protection says it was called out to clean up about 400 feet of roadway covered in various fuels and oils. There is no word on any injuries at this time.
A judge says the man accused of driving a boat under the influence and killing 3 men in Old Saybrook in 2024 must soon decide how he plans to resolve his case. Clayton Hackling made a brief appearance in New London Superior Court where his attorney requested more time to review evidence. Prosecutors have offered a deal of 30 years, suspended after 15 with 5 years probation. But police say Hackling was boating under the influence when the September 2024 crash killed 3 men returning from Block Island. He's been charged with 3 counts of second-degree manslaughter. His next court date is March 23rd.
Well, tonight, local and state law enforcement met with the community to figure out how they can better address hate crimes.
And that includes the different ways hate crimes can be reported. Fox 61's Valerie Moravi was at the meeting in Wethersfield.
The Connecticut State Police Hate Crime Investigative Unit and local officials want to make sure people know their rights, and they're not afraid to make that call.
Pick up the phone. Don't second guess yourself. Let us do our jobs. That's what we're here for.
Wethersfield Police Chief Rafael Medina urged neighbors to speak up when they witness a hate crime during a public meeting Tuesday evening, and neighbors took notes.
What's the line?
But what is hate crime? According to the Connecticut State Police Hate Crime Investigative Unit, the 2 leading categories are race and religion.
We don't want to see the numbers go up. We may not see what the true numbers are for a couple of years, but we're on the right track of getting more people to report, and we may just see that increase in numbers throughout the next couple of years. But these things are being tracked and kept.
Officials emphasize on the importance of understanding the difference between an assault and hate crime by providing different scenarios and explaining the motives. Connecticut State Police officials say a hate crime motivation includes a specific intent to intimidate or harass another person based on race, religion, ethnicity, disability, sex, sexual orientation, or gender identity. If someone is convicted of a hate crime, they can face up to 10 years in prison and up to $10,000 in fines. But Chief Medina says people still hesitate to report it.
It depends on what community you're talking about. Some might be migrants here or came from other countries where they're not comfortable with the police. Others are so used to it, they just don't report it. And we have to break down those barriers. We have to break down, that's through community engagement, like events like tonight.
Well, neighbors like Deborah Raymond and Julie Schnoberg Davis say they've never been a victim of a hate crime. They say the meeting was a great start to bring awareness of the potential issue in the area so they know what to do about it.
And I came tonight because I thought, you know what, we could be the next town. We could be. And to say that we couldn't be is, you know, I think being naive. So I thought this is a really good start to say, what does our police department feel about that? What is the state police doing about it?
Everyone kind of talked about that today, like, is this something, or I had this happen to me, is that something? And I think people can internalize and emotionally feel something, but it doesn't actually rise to the level of what constitutes a hate crime. And I think that's important, that the message that really came across today was call the police, call the police.
Now, again, officials say there's no such a thing as a dumb question. If you feel threatened or not safe, you're urged to call police. In Wethersfield, Valerie Moravin, Fox 61.